2009, he flew down here, and I went out and met with him and a group of local elected officials out at the port. He said, I want to put it right here. He said, but David, every 1 cent on the power rate is $1 million on my bottom line. So, you know, when they flip that switch, it takes a lot of juice. So they had to work out this certificated area of authority with Coastal Electric and Southern Power Company, Mississippi Power. They got all that worked out. They were negotiating the power rate. They were a few cents apart when the bottom fell out of the financial markets, and he lost his financing and ended up not building the plant. That would have been a huge shot in the arm for Hancock County. And I know that our folks who are our economic development officials right now are always looking for that kind of facility, and they're willing to give them you know, whatever fair incentives they can. But the other thing that Correnti told us is we're looking at 3 other sites. And so the incentive package becomes very important. And I think they ended up putting a plant, I don't know if it's that same company, but they put one over on the river in Louisiana. John, we drove by it the other day. It's so I don't know if that's the same one that they were thinking about putting here, but obviously it's a big boon to your economy, and that, you know, that's the way those economic developers work. Yes, ma'am.
Will you talk about your interest in changing the youth court?
Yes, ma'am. The question is my interest in changing the youth court. This is kind of a complicated subject, but y'all are all aware of the problem we have with all the children in DHS custody back in 2014 and 15, which led to a task force which I was asked to chair by our senior chancellor, Sandy Steckler, and we you know, investigated for quite a while, and then we wrote a report. And I'm shortening all this, it's very complicated, but one of the things that we determined is that our model of court here, which is a referee model, which is a lawyer who acts as a part-time judge appointed by the senior chancellor. The chancellor in the referee model has jurisdiction over the youth court. If you have a different type of court system, a county court, which is a model that a lot of other counties use, then the circuit court is over that court system, and you have a full-time county court judge. So what I think you're asking about is our recommendation that we go from a youth court referee model with a part-time judge who really isn't part-time anymore. I mean, she works full-time, and our budget for that youth court is as much or more as most county courts now. But we recommended that we go to a county court. Now, county courts are a creature of the legislature. And there is a statute that says when counties reach a certain population level, then they can have a county court. The legislature a few years ago changed that and said that if counties want to have a county court, they can create one without the population. Excuse me. So Hancock County has about 45,000 people. We don't reach the $50,000 level, but we can have one if we want. Excuse me, y'all. Let me take a sip here. So what would we have to do to have a county court? The Board of Supervisors would have to decide that they want one. They would pass a resolution. They would send it to the governor. The governor would then decree that we're entitled to have a county court and then set an election. And then we'd have to run an election, and we would elect the county judge, and then the county would have to fund that position. Excuse me. And it amounts to more than just a person in a robe. You have staff. You know, there's a court reporter, there's court staff. Some of those would be duplicated by what we already have, so we wouldn't have to add new people. The filings would go into the circuit clerk, so we wouldn't need a new clerk, but the clerk might have to add staff. So there's a cost involved. But I suspect if you laid the budget side by side, right now we're spending as much or more as we would if we had a county court judge. And so there is a movement. The Hancock County Bar has endorsed it. I know Brim Bell has been talking to folks about, you know, would you be interested in serving as judge if we were to have one? But the key is going to be the County Board of Supervisors deciding that we need a county court in Hancock County.
You presented this to them.
I did, yes ma'am. That was one of our recommendations, and Rhonda was on my task force. She can speak to this as well. We just feel like
Brim is going to address the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday.
Okay, great. I didn't know that.
So if anybody has an interest in it, he will be there Tuesday. I don't know where he is on the agenda.
And as a lawyer, I can tell you that having a full-time county court judge, I think would be preferable. Not that there's anything wrong with Judge Dino or what she's doing, but having a full-time lawyer with the staff would facilitate disposition of all cases. And county court judges in Mississippi not only handle youth court matters, but they also handle criminal matters such as pleas and initial appearances, so move the criminal docket a little better, and civil cases as well under $250,000 value. So as a lawyer who has a difficult time getting a case tried in Hancock County Circuit Court, that would be beneficial as well. Yes,
There was a story on the news last night, I believe, that funding for youth court was cut. Was that just a Harrison County story, or was that of Mississippi?
I didn't see that story. Now
They were interviewing Margaret Alfonso, who of course
Yeah.
is a Harrison County.
Yeah, that may have been a county budget issue over there. I don't know, but I can tell you this. We talked to Dr. David Chandler, who is